Hello there, fellow fans of Hollow Knight, we've made it here once again. February, a month filled with Hollow Knight and Silksong milestone anniversaries, a month of rising optimism for the year ahead. And can you believe it, but it is the 6th February since Silksong was announced as a standalone game. Yes, the past year has been a bit of a news desert for us, but there's still a few of us holding on to hope. I really do wish that we're not too far off the day that I get to start saying, hello there, fellow fans of Hollow Knight, a lot more often. So what do we think? Is it finally the year? Could we be getting a new blog post at last later this week? Is Ari Gibson planning to steal the show at the Nintendo Switch 2 reveal by gracing us with his own rendition of the Silksong from Hollow Knight's Silksong? Today I want to review the most important news milestones for Hollow Knight and Silksong before we dive into 2025's clowning schedule. Before I accidentally get anyone's hopes up, this is obviously not a news video. Nothing new has happened this year other than repeated confirmations that the game is real and progressing, but we'll get to that. Let us now pay a visit to the Silksonian Institute, and I've never been to the lesser known Smithsonian Institute myself, but I presume that it's also a crudely made PowerPoint presentation. Our journey begins, of course, with Hollow Knight's hugely successful Kickstarter, which begun on the 19th of November 2014 and ended 1 month later. I was still studying at university, Brexit was still a laughable notion that David Cameron was just pretending to back, and the internet existed in the calm before the storm that was the blue and black dress that might have been white or gold, but it was actually blue and black. How has it been 10 years since all that? Now we're going to speed through in time and you are going to ignore the spacing and all these little dots on the timeline because I haven't got time to line them up properly. I'm not even sure that I'm capable. Okay, we're going to fast forward time 2 years and 2 months until we get to February 2017. On the 10th is when Team Cherry dropped that trailer that gave us the release date for Windows at least, and it was announced that Hollow Knight would be releasing on Windows on the 24th. How exciting, just 2 weeks later. Not long after, on the 11th of April, that's when Hollow Knight released on Linux and Mac, and then the game got its first DLC on the 3rd of August, and that was Hidden Dreams. Followed up with the Grim Troop DLC on the 26th of October, and then we have a very interesting milestone. We have the first Silksong related trademark being registered that year, 2017, on the 30th of November. Someone will have to correct me on this, but I'm not sure if anyone was even thinking at that time to, 1, to even check, or 2, whether this meant that it was going to be a standalone game. I don't think there was much theory around that, but I wasn't so much in the community back then. A few months later, in the following year, 2018, on the 20th of April, we got the Lifeblood update. There was that huge update that changed a lot across the entire game. And then on the 12th of June, 2018, Hollow Knight released onto the Nintendo Switch. As we should all be aware by now, it's not just an easy direct thing to port a PC game over to Nintendo Switch or any other console. I suspect that is part, not all, but part of the reason Silksong is taking so long, because I believe they plan to release it everywhere on the same day, which is good, but also, yeah, it is taking a while. Let's get back to the timeline. On the 23rd of August 2018, we got the Godmaster DLC, which was the last DLC for Hollow Knight. And then we reached the end of my Hollow Knight milestones as Hollow Knight releases on PS4 and the Xbox One on the 25th of September 2018. The year is now 2019, and Queen Elizabeth II was alive and couldn't contain her excitement about the next couple of milestones. And I should know, I mean, if you're not already aware, all Brits get to dine with the royal family on their birthday, so I did discuss this with her in great length. On the 11th of February 2019, that Hornet DLC teaser was posted to the Team Cherry blog. And I say Hornet DLC teaser because at this point, fans still believe that Hornet is going to be a playable character in Hollow Knight, and it's not yet been announced that it is a separate standalone game. That wasn't until the 14th of February, we got the Silksong reveal, we got a blog post, we got videos. Everyone was probably very hyped and not at all prepared for what was going to come over the next few years. That does mean that yes, tomorrow, the 11th of February, that's going to be the 6th-year anniversary of that blog post with the Hornet teaser, and then later this week, the 14th, Valentine's Day, the 6th-year anniversary of the big reveal. While I was making this video, it was important to me to make sure that I was going to get it out before the anniversaries of those 2 big dates, and then I'm going to look back at this next week and be like, damn, nothing happened. Okay, back to speaking about the past. Now, a week later, and this is really interesting, literally just a week after the big reveal, that's when they first trademarked the name, or just the phrase, Fearless Fox, in Australia at least. So that was the first mention of this mysterious other thing that they might be working on. I think since then we've discussed it as a community and believe that it might be a game that's coming after Silksong, but what if it is actually instead a code name for something? I guess we'll find out eventually. 2019, it seemed like a pretty positive year for everyone. They showcased the game with the E3 demo at E3, as well as there was the Nintendo Treehouse presentation that I still watch repeatedly, nearly daily to this day. Let's skip over that part. That was June 2019. We had multiple blog posts. Communication wasn't as dry as it is now. However, we do reach a very sad day in Hollow Knight history on the 13th of December 2019, which was the last post on the Team Cherry blog. I was about to say last ever post, but no, that is not positive. We're gonna get another one, I'm sure of it. In the next few years, we didn't get an awful lot, and it looks really bad on the timeline, I do agree, but obviously we did have COVID and lockdowns affecting things. They have stated, as in Team Cherry have said, that COVID didn't impact them too much, but come on, there was COVID as well as the fact that one of them had a newborn baby. I don't know what was going on in everyone else's lives. It would have been a stressful time. The most notable part of that period of time between the last Team Cherry blog post and the next trailer was the riddles. There was that fun riddles exercise that was in June 2020, and that was to find out some of the NPCs that would be in Hollow Knight Silksong. And I just realized that I just spoiled the next one. Yes, it is the new trailer that we got from the Xbox Game Showcase. That was on the 12th of June 2022, along with that tweet, the one where Xbox doubled down and said that the games were all coming to Xbox in the next 12 months, and that's what led everyone to believe that the game would be releasing in the next 12 months. I don't want to point any fingers or place any more blame. All we know is that is not what happened. On the 16th of September, same year, 2022, PlayStation posted the tweet confirming that Hollow Knight Silksong was coming to PS5 and PS4. I hope that is still the case, as I know they don't have both of those listed on the Silksong website right now. So, without any further information, the community was mostly satisfied with what Xbox had said. There was no reason to doubt them. Everyone was counting down the days until the last possible date, June the 11th, 2023, when the game could come out. Unfortunately, before we even got to that date, we have that tweet from Matthew Griffin on the 10th of May 2023 with an update about Silksong, saying that they had planned to release it in the first half of 2023, but it's not getting released, basically. Even still, looking back at that wording, we had planned to release in the first half of 2023, it does imply that it slipped to the second half, and obviously it's 2025 now, and we don't have the game, though I am still very much expecting those extra details from them as they get closer to release, as Matt said, so hopefully that is actually coming. We're gonna skip a little bit ahead from May 2023 to April, but the next year, 2024, the 1st of April 2024. Why did you pick April Fools? But Matthew Griffin, aka Leth, he did post a tweet to let us know that Hollow Knight Silksong had a Microsoft Store page. Yay! I guess that is something. The very next day, on the 2nd of April, some keen-eyed fans noticed that Hollow Knight Silksong was now rated, and this was on the Australian video game classification. I think it's for all entertainment actually, but it got a PG advisory for the game. And that was at least confirmed and publicly available on the 2nd of April. They probably would have had to submit it much prior, but this is the bigger milestone. On Valentine's Day, we got a nice message from Leth just to confirm that they are still hard at work on the game. A lot of people have a lot of different thoughts about this, but honestly, I liked that message, and I hope that we get at least, if we're not going to get something big, or at least even just an acknowledgement this month. I don't care if they want to talk about Hollow Knight's anniversary, or a tiny little tweet from the Team Cherry Twitter account. Like, if we don't get any of that, I really hope we get something like this and it's just not silence for the entirety of February. Moving on the 19th of July 2024, we got a rare sighting of Team Cherry at Bit Summit, and they also attended PAX Australia. That was in October 2024. Again, more rare sightings. We've got lots of different photos that have popped up. After that, just before the end of 2024, we got Matthew Griffin confirming once again that Silksong is real on December 27th, and then again on the 18th of January, confirming the game is real, progressing, and will release. And that tweet this year on January 18th, that comes after the whole Cake ARG fiasco. I'm sure you've heard about it by now. It's not in here for a good reason. We've just been told that it has nothing to do with anything, so not in the timeline. That brings us up to present day. It is the 10th of February as I sit and record this, and I'm hopeful for something this month. Now on to a brief 2025 clowning schedule featuring events where we could potentially hear news, since I don't want anyone to get caught out without their costumes, because I was taught in Girl Guides to always be prepared ahead. First of all, I want to make it very clear that every day has the potential to be a Silksong news day. It's impossible to predict when we might hear from Team Cherry. All we know is that the next update should be coming directly from them, and it's expected to be a big one. What hasn't been confirmed is if it will be direct through their own social media channels or via another scheduled event. There's also been a lot of discussion about whether they'll follow the same announcement style as Hollow Knight by publicizing the release date literally just a couple weeks before. On the one hand, we've been told there should be a lot more communication as we approach that release, so it'd be kind of sad if that meant just 2 weeks of updates. On the other hand, who knows? It's also possible that they might not appear in any presentations this year, so it could be pointless going over whether they might be, but I love the showcases. I'm going to be watching regardless. We're all gamers, and new games should be exciting for all of us. As we've already gone over, February is a month filled with milestones, and it would be very nice to get something. We also usually get a Nintendo Direct in February in addition to the Pokemon Presents, which is obviously just Pokemon, but nothing's been announced just yet. That February Direct usually covers games coming to the Switch in the first half of the year, with the second half being covered in a Summer Direct, usually June. There's also Indie World and partner showcases throughout the year, but I'd presume they'd host those after the Switch 2 reveal in April. Perhaps they're holding off everything until after that big reveal anyway. I keep seeing rumors about a PlayStation State of Play. Last year they were in January, May, and September, and then in 2023 it was February and September with a larger showcase in May. There's usually at least one in Q1, plus the rumors are that it'll be this week, but maybe they'll want to push that out a bit while they deal with all the backlash from their recent outage. We've already had the usual Xbox Developer Direct that happens in January. The bigger showcase will be around June time with Summer Game Fest, with smaller partner previews between now and June, and then June and the end of the year. Oh, and Xbox usually have something fun planned for Tokyo Game Show. Summer Games Fest is packed full of opportunities for news, announcements, trailers, reveals. I know some people are set on the idea that direct from Team Cherry news means it'll be their blog post or YouTube channel or Twitter, and I understand that, but even if news came from them, there's no reason why we couldn't get even more details through these other events. Heck, what if they bring the demo back, and bigger? I would love to know in advance so I can book my flights. There's also the Game Awards at the end of the year in December. Leth has shared his preference for not releasing indie games at the end of the year, but again, could be a potential for news if it's still not ready. And also, I just keep ignoring Leth's preference because I'm sure Leth's preference is also to post more. We do know that he has no control over the blog. So to conclude and just reiterate from before, every day is a potential news day, and we currently just have no idea when anything could drop. I hope you've enjoyed this brief copium and wander back down through memory lane, and I look forward to clowning with you in 2025. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.